I know this isn't heaven because I'm following Robert Haas. That's how I know. Hi, I'm Daniel Handler, and I was asked to make a toast also. And I always think in a room like this, a toast is kind of a man shouting. But I live in a city, so I'm used to hearing men shouting. A few days ago, I was in a Muni station, leaving the Muni station, and I got on the escalator, and at the bottom of the escalator was a group of men, and one of them started a story as I boarded the escalator. He said, "You know who I saw for the first time in a long time?" And the men said, "Who?" And he said, "Ray." And I said, "Ray?" And Ray said, "Yeah." 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 And I said, "Ray," and by then I was at the top of the escalator, passing out of earshot, so I never heard the end of the story. More recently, I was doing something else that I do in this city, which is to swim in the San Francisco Bay. Thank you. I am a member of the Dolphin Club, and we swim over at Aquatic Park, which is a large-ish body of water rimmed by the Hyde Street Pier and also by a long curved walkway used by tourists and joggers. I like to swim along this curved walkway until I reach what we at the Dolphin Club call the opening, where you can swim out into the bay proper and stop and see the bridge and the islands and the birds and the boats and the sea lions and the dolphins, and it turns out great white sharks. But on a recent swim there was a man standing at the end of a curved walkway, and he was shouting at me. He was enjoying an alcoholic beverage. I think it's worth noting. It was about 8:30 in the morning, and he was well dressed with a friendly smile. And when he saw my head bob up out of the water, he shouted a question at me. He asked, "Do you feel free?" And I said, "Yes, because I do feel free most of the time. I think feeling free is a universal necessity, and like most universal necessities, it is, in our world, a luxury and a privilege. I hope it is a luxury and a privilege that all of us in this room share. There are, of course, many reasons and explanations for why I feel free, but one of them, foremost in my consciousness, is that I feel free because of literature. I feel connected to the vast tradition and traditions of people thinking up things and writing things down. It is immense and boundless, like the ocean feels when you are in it. And it makes me feel as a reader and as a writer that I'm rising as if in an escalator, and I feel free. I know people who have taught at St. Mary's, and I know people who have studied there, and I know how enthusiastically and thoughtfully everyone is trying to impart to all interested parties ways of learning to write and to immerse oneself in this freeing tradition. And that is why I'm here today toasting. So here's the toast. There's a toast that requires participation. You could raise your beverage. And I will say, "Ray," and you will say, "Yeah." And we'll do that a few times, and then I will ask you if you feel free. And you can answer honestly, and I hope that you will say yes. Ray?
Yeah!
Ray?
Yeah!
Ray?
Yeah!
Ray?
Yeah!
Ray?
Yeah!
Ray?
Yeah!
Do you feel free?
Yeah!
Thank you.